Hey, I decided to start a challenge where I read 15 minutes of a self-help book every single day. Does it actually work? Let's find out. Atomic Habits. Now, Atomic Habits generally has a lot of themes, and the overall function of the book is to help you improve making habits stick in your life, getting the good ones in your life and get rid of the bad ones. Now, one of the laws that it touched upon was making things easy. See, a lot of the times when we start a good habit, the reality is we often try and bite too much than we can actually handle. Now, the reality is we make it too complicated, too long for us to even commit to in our day to day, and most of us just end up giving up. I mean, why wouldn't you? You made it long, you made it difficult. At this point, it's just too much more than you're willing to expend on it. So, what's the fix? The Atomic Habits has stated that if we want good habits to stick, we make it easy. We make it easy, make it something that doesn't require that much effort. So, with some of those habits, for example, it could be reading, for example. Reading, which I strongly encourage. Now, reading gives you ideas. Now, using this law of making things easy, you don't have to restrict yourself to making these commitments of 1 hour of reading or 2 hours of reading or even 40 minutes or 30 minutes. It could be as simple as reading 2 pages a day, or whether 5 to 10 minutes of you reading or even listening to an audio if that's what you like to prefer, if that's what you prefer. And those are more than enough to give you the bang for your buck that you're willing to look for and give you those ideas. Because the reality is the underlying theme of making it easy is to keep ensuring that you show up. Because the more and more that you show up, the more you build confidence in yourself and actually build momentum within the actual habit for it to actually take place in your brain. The reality is most of us fail to commit to these good habits because we overcomplicate it or we make it too long for us to actually commit to. And we keep treating it, and I love this analogy to use, we keep treating these habits like it's a sprint. The reality is most of the meaningful changes that's going to happen in our life is by us treating it like a marathon. Now, you may be thinking, if that is for the good habits, what about bad habits? For that, we do the exact opposite. Instead of making it easy, we actually make it so difficult. Now, the reality is, when it comes to watching TV and playing video games, why do you feel like you're able to spend so much time doing it? Because one, it's entertaining, and at the same time, it's very easy for you to do. It's not complex, it doesn't require that much effort. So we find ourselves biologically inclined to actually just follow these types of things. Because one, we're not exerting that much effort, and it's entertaining at the same time. So with the bad habit, we make it more difficult. We put more extra barriers where it might include more time that you need to spend on it, more resources for you to actually commit this habit, or put extra barriers that will just make it harder for you to get in there. But why is this important? Because by making it easy, we allow ourselves to keep showing up to these habits. And by allowing us to keep showing up, we are building momentum. We are allowing ourselves to constantly take the reward from these habits and allowing it to keep building in organically. And what's that going to do is it's going to fundamentally and eventually exponentially build your value up as a person, and as you are now taking the benefits, similar to compound interest. How the graph slowly you deposit money and eventually it starts to skyrocket. It takes that time that you want to keep uninterrupted. And for us to keep it uninterrupted, where we don't have any gap days, make it easy. Make it easy, and like in the last video, make it attractive. The reality is, we are stuck in a lot of things. Everyone's got problems. And one of the mentors, Jim Rohn, had a mentor called Shove, who basically asked him what were his problems. And as he would list his problems, Shove would say that the reality is those aren't problems. The real problem lies in him not having ideas on how to go about these problems. And this is the fundamental reason as to why I encourage the reading. And I absolutely encourage getting more ideas and to make these habits as simple and easy as possible. Because the reality is, we all have problems. We all have problems, and we are stuck because we are still choosing to rely on the same thought patterns, the same habits that have got us in this mess. See, Albert Einstein would say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Because the reality is, we need more ideas. Because the amount of ideas that we can get, as I showed in the previous example, of the one that kept reading 2 pages a day, in which one page maybe has one idea. 2 pages, that's 2 ideas. Times that by 365. That's 730 ideas. That's basically 730 more ideas on solving that problem that you were even thinking of. You've got so many options to choose on how you can go about the actual problem. And the more ideas you get, the more powerful you can become with it because you can apply it. And that's where the real essence of the power comes with the knowledge. So at the end of the day, it seems like a no-brainer. This seems like the most free investment that we can make. And the best part is, it doesn't cost money. So, as we're approaching the end, just a final reminder that life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We still need to show up the next few days, next few months, and even years. This process, especially towards building good habits and actually bringing immense value, is gonna take time. And what we gotta understand is that we need to keep things easy so that we can keep showing up the next few days, next few weeks and months, still being refreshed and ready to go. And that is how we're gonna keep building that momentum and carry that on in the other fields of our life and building that foundation for us to be successful.